very soon. I want to give people a couple of minutes to get in here, and then we'll jump in and get started. Today we're actually going to be using the quick battle system, and it's actually given us a battle against the Russians. As you can see, we're quite close to St. Petersburg. We're also quite close to Martino. We want to take both of these areas. In fact, we have 3 objectives in this quick battle, and I hope we do a good job. Like I said, I'm going to give people a little while to get in here, and then we will move forward. Hello, how's it going, my friends? We are going to jump into some March to Glory very, very soon. I want to give people a couple of minutes to get in here. All right, my friends. So, we are, of course, playing March to Glory here. And the interesting thing about this battle is we got this battle using the quick battle system. I showed you guys the quick battle button in the last Let's Play, but basically this quick battle system allows a random battle to be generated for your amusement whenever you want. In this particular case, we got a pretty cool one. We are playing as the French in Russia. Of course, this is close to St. Petersburg, so Napoleon's army hasn't quite taken a nasty hit from the winter yet. That's to come. If we can win at St. Petersburg, though, we're of course going to be taking out one of Russia's only actual usable ports, which is definitely going to be helpful. Now, I was going to move forward and fire on the enemy because I think we'd get more damage, but quite frankly, being in this forested area provides us a defensive bonus, so I'm probably going to go ahead and hold off on that. We also have to take this area of Martino, and I'm not expecting that to be a very easy area to take. So let's go ahead. We are going to open fire here. All right, nice. One group of Russians down. Now, the problem with our cannon is it can't seem to fire at those units. We need to move it forward and have it fire next turn. As you can see, we now see more of the enemy, and that absolutely comes into play in this game. The ability to see the enemy, the line of sight, it's absolutely important. So now that we move the cannon up, we see some extra units. They could turn out to be a problem. Let's open fire. Well done, boys. Pour la pays. Fire again. And really, I'm just trying to ruin that unit as much as possible. I will try to fire into Smolensk. Not sure if our cannon is able to. Oh, yes, they are. They can even fire at that unit that we've been trying to hurt. But I'm not sure if that's the best idea. We actually get, the best shot we get is over here, and you can actually see the 2-4. So you usually want to go for the best shot, unless, of course, the enemy's in front of you. You want to try and get rid of them immediately. So there we go. Nice, even shot. We've also got a light infantry unit, and as you guys can notice, they can fire an extra tile. This also happens to a regular infantry unit if you've promoted them in battle, so keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and open fire. We're just chipping away at the Russian army right now. So I'd actually like to move this cavalry sort of back. I hate to do this, but yeah, we're going to move the cavalry over here, actually. He's going to get some reactionary fire, but it's going to allow us to move across with the 30th line. And the 30th line can actually open fire on this unit or this unit. It looks like they're going to do slightly better here. But since the enemy is fighting in a forest, they do get a defensive bonus. So let's fire, and that's why we get the -1 attack there. But not bad. Not the end of the world. And I'll move this guy to take his position, and eventually, hopefully, we'll have this guy moving up as well. Let's see. We've got this light infantry. I'm going to start moving towards Martino, but I'm afraid that the area is not going to be that easy to take. Okay. And we shall end the turn. So they're already prematurely actually forming the square. I guess they expect to be charged. Makes it a little easier for us to shoot at them. And it looks like they're moving away from Smolensk. But that part on the right where Martino is definitely full of enemy troops. We can see here that the Russians have a lot of enemies, or a lot of troops in their army. And they're going to charge the cannon. I was worried about that. That's definitely not good. Our cannon took a nasty hit, but he can still fire, and guess who's getting shot first? That unit right there. Ooh. All right, so Saukova, Smolensk, and Martino. We could take Smolensk right now. At least I thought we could. That's weird. Why can't we move into that area? So perhaps Smolensk, we actually have to come in from the sides to be able to take it. That's definitely a possibility. I'm going to go ahead. Open fire, number 1. I want to see if I can shoot them up here, although the cavalry's in the way. That could be a problem. No, we're fine. Boom. I'm even tempted to charge them despite being in a square formation because we're doing so well. But I think what I'll do is cross the river with my light infantry. Unfortunately, obstacle in the way. I'm guessing in this case the obstacle would be the forest. And that's definitely unfortunate because that could have been a serious amount of damage. So let's go ahead. Let's take our cannon, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to fire right into the middle of these guys. And look at that, guys. Since we're firing at point-blank range, we get +2. That's just excellent. Boom! Devastating. Could even charge if we wanted, but I think we'll actually do better firing. I try to wait until the unit is at least half down before I even consider a charge. In this case, we can do it. Bayonets! Not bad at all. I'll take it, man. And then we've got this unit, of course, but we're still trying to get into Martino. So let's get a little closer. And sure enough, yeah, they've got defenses. They're not just going to leave that area open. Pretty much makes sense. Opening fire, a charge would actually work better in this case. Despite it being a fortified position, we are going for the charge. There we go. Took out one. Didn't lose a single man. I want to move forward and fire, but I want to see if Napoleon can join the unit in the battlefield. Let's take a look. No. However, he can join these guys. And we'll open fire on the cavalry. Although, as you can see, we're not going to do any damage, really. Be very lucky if we get a shot. Yeah, no way. One thing I like about the game, it's very honest with the probabilities. In general, it tells you what's going to occur. Not always, but in most cases, I would say it's very accurate. As you can see there, 1 for 1. That's exactly what happened. Move the cav over here. Our 11th Hussars. I think everybody's fired, more or less. Except for the cavalry. And the question here is, do we go for the charge? Now, as you guys can see, since we're attacking a square formation, it's half damage. But since we're in open terrain, it's +2 attack. Now, you know, reason would dictate you never, ever attack a square formation. In this case, we are going to move forward. Hey, how's it going, Dave? Good to see you, man. All right, here we go. So again, don't do what I'm doing right now. But occasionally do it. In this case, we lost one, but we also got the enemy to retreat. So I would call that pretty much a victory. I'll advance. Again, I'm not sure why we can't move into Smolensk right away. I think we might have to wait a turn or two. But there's definitely a way into Smolensk. We might have to go around this way to enter. All right, we're turning it over to the enemy. The Russians have a lot of men, which is obvious, but compared to our army, I think they absolutely outnumber us, maybe 2 to 1. Unfortunately, not much we can do about that cannon there. And 5 damage. You take major damage from a cavalry charge there, and you can see that. And it looks like they're going to charge our guys in the woods. I don't think that's so smart on their part. They might live to regret that one. Yeah, we lost one guy. They lost one guy. No big deal. Now, this is where problems start to occur. You get too close with your arty. Ooh. And it looks like our guys automatically got in a square formation there. Smart work. We also have incoming reinforcements. If you look up here beneath the turn area when your turn ends, you can actually see whether or not you're going to be getting reinforcements on your battle. And as you can see, most of them are coming on turn 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's going to be a little bit longer until we get some reinforcements. In the meantime, I want to try and waste this unit. So we're going to open fire. And yes, we definitely want to open fire on the Cav, but I'm going to actually try to shoot him from the flank here. It doesn't look like we're going to do much damage to him no matter what we do, which is a little disconcerting. You can see no damage, so I'm actually going to fire on the enemy infantry. As for this unit, we'd actually do pretty well on a charge despite them being in square formation. One thing I'll do to increase our chances is I'll open fire from the woods here with our light infantry. Try to just reduce the amount of men they have. We could possibly fire again, maybe not, and we'll go for the charge. Nice, beautiful. Your square formation did nothing for you. Now the problem when a unit is in a city tile, one of the problems is they're going to be getting reinforcements quite regularly. So even if we manage to wipe out, 3 or 4 of these units, we don't know, but they could be getting reinforced every turn by 2, 3 units, etc. So I'm going to try to cross the river here, and I'm hoping that my cavalry can eventually march into Martino. I don't think they can, though, because of this tile. As you can see, it's got a very odd shape, and it would actually overlap into the tile our infantry is currently in. So we might need to move them out of the way and attack from another direction. Still no way into Smolensk. Okay, ending the turn. Hello, Sadiner. Good to see you. So this is a situation to definitely be concerned about. The fact that we can't do any damage to that cavalry and that they're right in between 2 of our units, it's definitely a scary situation. Wow, the enemy actually succeeded in that attack. Despite the fact that we've wiped out about half of that brigade, they actually succeeded. Alright, yeah, we've got some units retreating for sure. Looks like some of them rallied, though. That's good. Can we move into Smolensk is the real question. If not, it absolutely means that we're going to have to take this side first. There's a lot of rivers around Smolensk. It looks like there could even be some sort of wall here. One thing I am going to do is charge their artillery. Getting rid of their artillery would be huge. Could actually fire from the woods. That's what light infantry's for. And once again, dropped a few more of them and got their arty to retreat. How does it feel, enemy? How does it feel? We'll go ahead and charge, actually. Uphill charges don't usually work very well. In this case, we outnumber the enemy, so I'm going with that. And they're retreating. Beautiful. Now, did our cannon stop retreating? I hope so. Unfortunately, I don't believe it did. And if it did, oh yes, it did. Never mind. Point-blank shot at the Cav. That's what we need, guys. Point-blank shots at the enemy are absolutely going to get rid of them. Problem is, as you can see here, firing at the enemy is just... It basically wouldn't work for our units. So I'm just going to stay in the square formation. If I can fire at other units, I'll do that. I think in this case, I'm actually going to move this guy over so he can at least be of use. And we'll move Napoleon over here with the cavalry. Let's fire at the enemy over here from the woods. C'est très bien, men. Alright. We want to move over here, and the reason being we want to get that cavalry in here. Open fire. This should be a pretty even loss. We're going to lose one, they're going to lose one. And I'll actually charge. The 85th line. Now let's bring our Cav. And we should be able to charge. Then again, units adjacent. Another thing, yeah, the town. That's what I forgot. The town. You can't attack a town with cavalry. And you can't attack adjacent units. So units like right to the right or left of you, you can't do that. In front or behind, you can. And in fact, they've got some really nice units here. The 2nd Lifeguard. Look at that, guys. Those guys look pretty brutal. Let's advance. I hope it's a good idea to be advancing right now. We're definitely taking a risk. And I believe we're getting a bit of reinforcements next turn. End the turn. The Russians are certainly getting reinforcements. Sadheiner says, my English is bad. I'm Spanish, but I try to follow the video. No hay problema, mi amigo. Está todo bien. You could still, you can follow along. Okay, here we go. Hi, Lancier. Yeah, I love the waving flags. As I mentioned before, I also love the bodies that are left behind on the field. It really gives me a feeling of Ultimate General Gettysburg. I'm not sure if you guys or not Ultimate General Gettysburg. It's Sid Meier's Gettysburg. Really gives me that feel. I'm not sure how many of you have played that, but it was one of my favorite games when I was a young kid, and I absolutely get nostalgia from it by playing this game. So we're going to keep moving. At this point, see no reason to leave this wooded tile except for the fact that we want to move more guys up. So we will move forward from the forest, and we will fire. Obviously, charging up a hill to attack, never a good idea. So we're not going to do that. We will open fire, even though we may have been able to do a little more damage with the charge. And finally, Smolensk is open. It's about time. It is now ours. Of course, now we have to hold the town, which is a battle unto itself. Definitely want to shoot the artillery. And let's see what else. So yeah, the charge would work better, once again. But as you can see, the enemy is definitely getting reinforcements. We got them down to like 4 or 5. Each turn, if they remain at Martino, they're going to continue to get those reinforcements. So we need to either kill as many of them as quickly as we can, or we need to move them out of town, period. And both are not going to be easy. One thing I will do is I will move my cavalry into the forest here. I wonder if we can get a charge on the enemy. It looks like we can. 1 and 1. Looks like what the damage is going to be like. I'll take it. And it looks like neither of us really hurt each other at all. I will open fire on the infantry here. Flanking shots always work pretty well. They're going to return the favor, of course. And we could actually fire, but I think it's more important to fire at the cavalry, because it's right on our line. It's a problem. Now, the reason I didn't shoot at the cavalry with this unit is because when we looked at the before and after possibilities, the chances were that none of us were going to do damage. So it just kind of seemed like a waste. I'm going to fire again at the cav from here. Although, realistically, I should be firing at probably one of these infantry units. So, you know what? Let's fire at the infantry unit up there on the hill. And we could charge. I don't think it's going to go well because we have a lot working against us. We are going to try, though. All right, better luck next time. I think that's the way they put it. And yeah, we probably end right there. We definitely need those other reinforcements because we're going to use them to take Martino. Also, the music is great. It certainly is. It certainly is really good music. Look at all these reinforcements the Russians are getting. Why do they need more? It's too many as is. We just gained some 3 morale over there by their cannons, and finally their cavalry's moving back. But I think they're doing this all on purpose to start smashing our cavalry over here. We don't have nearly as many cavalry units as the enemy does, but they absolutely outnumber us in infantry. It's a tough call. It really is. So you can see they really went back into Smolensk now. Hopefully our men are capable of holding this for a while. I also like the cloud cover. I don't know if you guys have noticed the cloud cover that goes over the battlefield. Initially I thought it was maybe like some gunpowder, but it's a really cool effect there. Unfortunately, it looks like our guys at Smolensk are going to probably run. Now, when a fire breaks out, what that means is that the unit is unable to get reinforcements. So, you know, ideally we'd be firing here at Martino, and we'd be able to capture it. So we've captured Smolensk. That's it. That objective is finished. I'm not even sure if we have to hold it. I think we probably do. We're going to go ahead and shoot at their artillery over here. Try to just wipe that out. And fire again. Destroyed. That's beautiful. So that's one already down. Now what about this guy? It's not looking great, is it? Charge! You could imagine those French running out of the woods with bayonets. You would not be a happy camper. So the charge here is probably going to work in the enemy's favor, which unfortunately means I think we're going to have to move the cab out. But look at this. Look at this charge. This is going to work out very well. Hussars! I don't think they were ready for that at all. Look at that. -3. That's excellent. But again, our main goal is getting this guy. Although, if an enemy unit is weakened this much, yeah, I think we should take advantage of that. We're definitely going to get some return fire as we cross. And that was very effective return fire. Charge! I believe the only way of making a fire break out is with artillery. So that's another reason we desperately need that artillery unit. Yes, Mike Callister makes a great point, which is like most Russian battles, so much fodder on their side. They have a ton of cannon fodder, a ton of units, absolutely true. Zach Blood, Mother Russia has more land than men, and don't mind losing either. Yes, very true. Ultimate victory is the ultimate goal. That's simple. They don't care if they lose 1,000, if they lose 100,000, 1,000,000, as long as they get to that ultimate goal. Once again, I'm going to fire at the unit that's about to break, or looks like they're about to break, and we destroyed them. Beautiful. We completely destroyed them. Firing out from the woods here with our light infantry. Now, I do want to move forward with our cav so that we can move this infantry unit up, but we're putting our cav in a very bad position, obviously. Essentially trapped by every single other unit. That being said, I'm going to charge their artillery. And we've destroyed the arty. And I will advance. In this game, much like the other games by the same company, you guys know Drive on Moscow, Battle of the Bulge, supply lines are a factor. It took me a while to realize that. But if we can actually get behind the enemy supply lines and cut them off, they can run out of ammo. They can become a lot less effective in combat. Their morale drops. All sorts of different changes that affect the unit. So getting behind their lines is a good thing. Then again, keep in mind, if we're going to blitz behind their lines with our cavalry, there's a good chance they're probably going to shoot them. So that's going to happen. That being said, maybe that'll take some of the attention away from the rest of our men. So I'm going to move forward here. And unfortunately, we still have some sort of obstacle in our way. Let's see if this guy can get into Smolensk next turn. And we'll take Napoleon and put him with the artillery. Just watch them. As most of you guys know, Napoleon was actually an artillery commander before he became, you know, the guy we know as Napoleon, the the amazing general. He was an artillery commander, and a good one at that. You immediately probably think infantry, but nope, not even close. Let's end turn. All right, so they capture the town. Keep in mind, though, the positive aspect here is the fact that even though they did capture the town, they will not be able to reinforce these men, unlike they can in Martino. So if we can just knock them down as much as possible, we should be okay. There we go. They managed to destroy one of our units. They're absolutely going to have to move into that area. Maybe not because we have the cannon. I certainly would have. Oh boy, that was a nasty charge. One for one, I'll take it any day and every day. But yeah, I figured that. Now, this does mean we can get a point-blank shot with our artillery. So there are some bonuses here. Let's take a look. So this foot battery needs to move forward. Oh, okay, that's Napoleon. Hopefully the foot battery can still fire. No, we're going to have to move forward with the foot battery. The reason I'm worried is because their infantry units could either shoot it down or charge it. But I think we need to take the risk. So let's fire point blank at the enemy. Nobody likes a face full of shrapnel shot, least of all horses. Open fire. Got them trapped in between us now, and it looks like now they seem to be a little more malleable. Well, I think we should fire at this guy. There we go. Good shooting. They've also got a general with them. It's Tsar Alexander. It's Tsar Alexander that's their general. That's amazing. Imagine if we kill the Tsar. That would be a few hundred years too early. Let's go ahead, open fire. Wow, I was amazed by that. We definitely should have gotten some damage. Let's see what we can do with our Cav. Good old 11th Hussars. Stick around, boys. And yeah, I'm definitely going to charge. I'm not sure why we can't charge. There we go. That would have been disappointing. There we go. Wow, look at that. We've got the enemy unit retreating. And, of course, we're going to advance. At this point, they're completely cut off at Martino. Charge! Pixel says, nice, the Tsar's here. Yep, he sure is. Watching over the battle. Alexander Vissalievich. Let's open fire on, yeah, the city. Then again, we could charge. Actually, that would be a lot better. So at this point, I think Martino will lose its ability to reinforce. If I'm not mistaken, they do still have an open tile here, though. So that might be enough for them to reinforce with. And we will charge again. We're so close to breaking Martino, but it does take a little longer than expected. Good shooting, boys. Let's just hope the enemy doesn't overrun our cannon. I mean, obviously, having a cannon this close to the front, it's a risk for sure. I'm going to go ahead and actually move them where Napoleon is. And I think the cannon can fire just as well in the forest. Just gives it a defensive bonus. But maybe we should be careful with that. It's kind of hard to use a cannon inside of a place full of trees everywhere. It's not easy to aim. Okay, let's end the turn. Van Bishop says, footnote, most of the battles during the 1812 to 1815 campaign saw the Russians being weaker in numbers than the French. Interesting. So I guess in this case, it's this happens to be sort of a standout case where the Russians absolutely outnumber us. We are, however, getting a lot of reinforcements throughout the battle, so maybe eventually it offsets that. Like, it would make sense for initially the Russians to have more men, and then perhaps later in the battle for that to decrease. I'd personally love to see the American Revolution represented. I mean, obviously you'd have to go back a little more, but I think the units available are perfect for that. And if there was some sort of American Revolution DLC, oh man, I would be all over that. Okay, so let's see. We can attack these guys. We're going to charge the retreating unit. I know it seems mean, but we destroy them, and that works out for us. Move here. Charge! And unfortunately here in the woods, we're not getting the best view, but look at that. We can actually get a pretty good view of Smolensk. Open fire there. Let's, of course, get that immediate point-blank shot on the cavalry. That unit's going to eventually have to break, and there we go. They have broken. I'll keep the cav here. There's absolutely no need to move them forward anymore. And I will charge Smolensk, even with this unit that's not really doing very well. In fact, they've already retreated once, but we're hoping that that doesn't happen again. Okay, open fire. Nothing. What about a charge here? No, actually, it wouldn't work out too well for us. We do still have our cavalry behind the enemy lines. And let's face it, he's not going anywhere else, so he might as well go ahead and attack the units here at St. Petersburg. And if we were able to take St. Petersburg with a cavalry charge, it would be huge. Come on. Single one of our men knows how to shoot in that unit. Charge! Wow, very cool. Thanks, Van Bishop. So Van Bishop just put down the numbers. I guess it's the numbers of total troops for each side. Wow. Oh, absolutely. I'd love it. I'd love it. I think it'd be really fun. Charge! They can't hold on forever. Although they're doing a pretty good job of holding on forever. I love it. Look, Smolensk is burning up, man. It is completely burning up. So, like I said, the positive aspect there is we know the enemy can't reinforce while they're there. But they seem to be doing okay. The Denisov Cossack Division, the 7th Cossacks, these guys are a nasty bunch of guys. They are definitely not the kind of enemies you want to be facing in battle. Because they're, let's face it, they're ruthless. Let's end the turn. Oh, they reinforced, so the fire is out. As you can see there, they start to reinforce, and when the Don Cossacks are getting reinforced, that's a problem. A big problem. Nice, our cavalry's still getting reinforced, which is pretty amazing. Pretty surprising, too. What about these guys? Okay. Fire at the Cossacks. Hopefully we have another fire breakout here. Yes! Fire broke out! Oh! We got lucky. Fire. My main goal right now is killing those Cossacks. I'm telling you, I'm terrified of them. I've seen how they perform in battle before, and I don't need a repeat. I don't need a reminder. Look at that. Missed every shot, just about. Okay, we can fire with this artillery unit as well. Thank goodness we're in range of Smolensk up here too. But I think it's going to take a little more than that to get those guys to run. Obviously, Martino is a goal. But let's go ahead and charge the enemy with a flank attack first. Force them into a square. And at that point, our guys can probably pick these men off pretty quickly. In fact, we can charge. Look at that. Even though we've got a lot of dead men on our side too, I think we'll actually win out on this charge. 2 and destroyed. Look at that, guys. That is great. So we're getting closer and closer to taking Martino. Charge. There is no shame or dishonor in running away, enemy. Just run away. It's like Humongous in Mad Max. Just leave. Just go away. Nice. Oh, they're still alive. And we still got guys here that are still alive too. And these are Cossack units as well. Oh boy. All right. Nice. Thank goodness that the woods kind of protected us there. Just walk away. I absolutely have Pixel. I actually have. I think it's actually not on my channel. I'm pretty sure it's on the Slytherin channel. We did a Revolutionary War pike and shot Let's Play video of Saratoga. I'm not sure if Dan is watching the stream right now or someone else from Slytherin is, but if they look through or if they just type in Slytherin group Revolutionary War, I'm pretty sure they would locate that video. We did play as the British. Really fun battle too. Pike and shot in general. It's mainly Odenethius too, the guy that makes the mods. Just has some incredibly fun mods. Alright, ending the turn once again. We just barely have more victory points than the enemy, but it's not by much. Our men are still gaining morale. Of course, we do need to take Smolensk. I'm going to go ahead, open fire. I love that it's still burning. We're going to get these Cossacks out of here eventually. Even if it means moving forward. Thank you, Dave. That must be it. That was a really fun series to do. Playing the Battle of Saratoga. Really, really fun. Challenging battle, too. Very challenging. You know, obviously, the Americans, or many of the Americans, especially in the South, during the Revolutionary War, would resort to guerrilla tactics. Saratoga is, of course, in New York. But in that battle as well, the enemy certainly resorted to some guerrilla tactics. That being said, in Saratoga, I would say that the Americans had a somewhat higher advantage because, well, let's face it, they had a fort. It definitely helps to have a fort when you're fighting an enemy. And in this case, they had just that. Okay, let's see. Can we charge? No, we can't attack a town. What about a few well-placed shots? Oh, you are fighting back? Bayonets! Come on, man. These guys are bulletproof. There we go. Martino is ours. Finally. Now, of course, we can take these guys and have them move north towards St. Petersburg and Smolensk. So this is definitely the way we want things to go. It's going pretty well, actually. And actually, these guys in the woods, the 33rd line, they're doing quite well against the Jaegers. I thought these were Cossack units. They look very much like Cossack units, but it looks like they're Jaegers. I guess they could be both, right? Let's go ahead and fire. Because Jaeger really just means a hunter unit, although it being in German, it's a little confusing. Alright, we're going to go ahead and try to get behind them here at St. Petersburg. We might even be able to attack the enemy. We might be able to attack the Tsar. Look at this. We're attacking the Tsar, guys. He's going to have some infantry defending him, of course, but that is going to be painful. Look at that. Retreating. The Tsar is running away. He's crossing the river. Please don't kill me. Oh, wonderful. So that works out great. Now, of course, we've got to get a unit brave enough and willing to step into a burning city. It's been done before. Okay, we can move forward with the Cav. Still, I like that scenario, still play it every once in a while. Yeah, it's a really fun one. And in general, pike and shot campaigns, for those of you looking for like highly moddable games, I would highly recommend you take a look at it. Obviously, Pike and Shot Campaigns is set during the 30 Years' War, but there's scenarios all the way from ancient Rome to the American Civil War, you know, so there's really a lot of different scenarios. And like I said, it's Odonethius. There's a few other guys that are the main modders, and they do an amazing job. It's like having a bunch of different, you know, like instead of having just Pike and Shot, having Pike and Shot with a bunch of free DLC is basically what it's like. I'm gonna go ahead and end here. End the turn. Enemy's getting smarter. They're using that square formation a lot more now. Yeah, that is a pretty nasty enemy unit, although even losses on both sides. But our cavalry's already been through a lot. Oh boy, they're so close to breaking this unit. And of course, he's reinforced. It's almost like no damage was dealt to him at all in the first place. I do want to try to move a strong unit here. So I'm going to move this guy. As you can see, 18 of 18 men there. But keep in mind, we won't be able to reinforce. We can even take St. Petersburg here. Maybe next turn. Of course, you don't want to charge a unit in a square formation with cavalry for the most part. That's not always true. But hopefully they'll break from the square here. Let them have it, boys. I see no reason why we should stop firing at this unit. They don't seem to do much. They haven't shot at us. They haven't charged us. It works for me. Charge! And actually, our guys have a slight advantage on this one, despite having far fewer men. We got 2 of them. Nice, Hussars. All right, 1, 2, and 3. Martino is firmly in our control. I don't think there's any way we're going to be losing that town. It's just not going to happen. Can't shoot. Even if that unit ends up breaking us, my goal is to weaken it as much as possible. I'm going to move forward with our cannon. That might not have been the best idea, though, because we've got a hill here. So, you know what? Moving back. You know, you don't really need to be too close to the enemy if you're on top of a hill. You can pretty much see, as you can see, the view distance is 2 already for a cannon unit, plus the hill. It's really adding quite a lot. I think we could probably fire even across the river here fairly easily. Paul 59, that's another one. Yeah, thank you, Pixel. He is awesome as well. Yes. He is really cool. Is there a mod for the War of 1812? That's a good question. That's a very, again, and this could be because I'm American, it's a war that's rarely talked about, rarely discussed. I wonder why. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, but I can't say for certain that there is. I believe there is a Waterloo campaign even, or not a campaign, but a battle. There's a lot of different things to do. So I'm going to charge this unit. They're not in a square formation. They're badly damaged. You know, best case scenario, they break right here. Actually, they managed to fight us off. That's pretty rare. Like I said, the game's probability system is very accurate. I would say 95% accuracy. In that particular probability, we looked like we were going to win, but the enemy actually damaged us. So, again, don't be too cocky, but for the most part, you can rely on the accuracy system in the game. Let's end the turn. Yes, that's another one. Now, the Pixel, the Zulu War, that's one I have on my channel, which was, I believe I called it Islandowana. It is the Battle of Islandowana, and I played as the British, and man, is that not only a great mod, but such a terrifying battle. I could only imagine the terror one would feel as the British, because the way the Zulus basically have a war is they have, I think it's called the Ox Offensive, where basically it's like 2 horns of the ox encircle you, and then the head of the ox rams into you. So you've got basically Zulus surrounding you from all sides, and then this massive wave in the front. Just a terrifying situation. Very tough battle to win as the British. Invading Canada would be fun, says McAllister. Yes, indeed. It would be. Probably give you flowers and thank you for invading and, you know, be all happy. Like, welcome. Fire. This unit's about to break or retreat. Good enough. And look at that. That guy retreated too. So actually, I just learned something. I didn't think that there was a morale check system for units nearby, but apparently there is, because we didn't hit that guy, but he ran away. He doesn't want anything to do with us. Let's move forward. And at least we're cutting off any enemy units in this general area, and of course I'm going to charge. There we go. Enemy unit destroyed. Of course, the not-so-good part is seeing how much stuff the enemy has here. It's a lot. Told you, if they crossed, we were going to make them retreat either way. Open fire. And those second lifeguards, they are good, man. Yes! Hussars! Oh, the Hussars are awesome. Yeah, let's take a shot at the Cav. As many of those lifeguards as we can knock down, it's going to make me happy. It's definitely a strong unit, and we want to get rid of it. You can see there the attack is 3 for the lifeguards. It is the equivalent of basically a Hussar unit, although they look really cool, I have to say. They look really, really cool. I love that red tinged jacket. Just really brings you back to the Napoleonic era. Alright, well my friends, we are coming to the end of this stream. I hope you guys have been enjoying our March to Glory stuff in the past, and it's definitely a game I want to play in the future. Just to remind people, this particular game that we were playing today is one of the quick battles, so it's not even part of the campaign. If you're not necessarily in the mood to do an entire campaign, or you're not necessarily in the mood to do a historical battle, you just hit that quick battle system and it's going to set you up with something really, really cool. In this case, we happened to get, I should say, a location in Russia against a pretty large Russian force near St. Petersburg, but absolutely turned into an entertaining battle. So keep in mind that system, that ability to do the quick battles. Again, of course, there is always the campaign, and in the campaign, basically the way to advance is to win the battle. The next battle will be unlocked, etc. I believe the first one is Austerlitz, and then after that you have Jena, and you